The World War II home defense trick so powerful, it still terrifies intruders today. There's a reason old-school survivalists smirk when modern high-tech security gadgets fail. They know something most people don't. A forgotten wartime home defense method, crafted by ordinary families during the darkest nights of World War II, still works today with almost unfair effectiveness. And if you're watching this, you're exactly the kind of person who should know it. Stick around, because what you're about to discover isn't just history, it's real, practical, powerful survival intelligence. During World War II, entire neighborhoods vanished under blackout. Bombs fell, streets went silent, police were overwhelmed. Civilians were left to defend themselves, not just from the sky, but from the shadows. Looters and desperate opportunists roamed the ruins. With no electricity, no alarms, and no help coming, families had to create defenses out of whatever they had. And the trick they came up with didn't just protect their homes. It turned intruders around instantly, often before anyone even woke up. This wasn't Hollywood-style home protection. No swinging logs, no lethal pits. What existed instead was something far smarter, safer, and rooted in deep psychological manipulation. A method built out of simple physics and the universal human fear of getting caught. The same fear that still stops modern intruders in their tracks today. Let's dive straight into how civilians turned their homes into quiet fortresses. In wartime cities, homes weren't just buildings, they were survival shelters. But here's the truth most history books skip. The biggest threat was always bombs. It was people. When air raid sirens screamed and families sprinted to shelters, entire blocks were left wide open. Intruders used the chaos as cover. With nothing but rationed supplies and clever thinking, civilians developed what security experts now call layered passive defense. Not aggressive or violent, but psychologically devastating. Instead of more locks or barricades, families focused on what an intruder felt the moment they stepped inside. And that's where the legendary trick comes in. Forget the image of a trap. This World War II defense wasn't designed to hurt anyone. Its power was in surprise. Civilians stretched thin wire or rope across entryways and hallways, just low enough to catch an intruder's leg, but nearly invisible in the dark. Here's why it worked so well. When someone breaks into a home, they rely on speed, silence, and confidence. The moment they lose any of those, the game changes. A stumble, a fall, a loud noise, suddenly they're exposed and vulnerable. The illusion of control shatters. One trip over a hidden line, and most intruders fled instantly. Not because they were hurt, but because they didn't know what else was waiting. Was someone home? Was it a trap? That uncertainty was lethal to their motivation. This simple act of stringing wire across doorways became a wartime phenomenon. It forced looters to choose the safest option, escaping without a single blow thrown. And today, the same principle is embedded in low-tech perimeter alarms and triple-in systems used by preppers and even professional security teams. This is psychological warfare done with a clothesline. In full blackout conditions, darkness wasn't just protection from aircraft. It was a way to manipulate visibility on the ground. A looter staring at a pitch-black house had no idea if anyone was waiting inside. That uncertainty became a weapon. Civilians figured out that tiny, controlled bursts of light could make an intruder think someone was awake. A quick flicker behind heavy curtains, a lamp turned on, then immediately off. Even the glow of a match could send a message. Someone is home. Someone is alert. Choose another house. Fast forward to today. The modern version of this is motion-activated lighting, especially lights that behave unpredictably. When a sudden beam cuts through the darkness, an intruder's brain interprets it the same way a 1940s looter did. You've been detected. Whether the homeowner is actually watching doesn't matter. The effect is instant. Off-grid, preppers love this, because a simple solar lamp and a sensor mimic that wartime psychological punch without draining power. No app, no subscription, just pure behavioral manipulation. Noise was another weapon civilians mastered. With cities silent during blackouts, even the slightest clatter echoed sharply. Families hung metal cans on strings, balanced pots on ledges, or placed loose objects near doors that stuck. A single nudge created a cascade of noise loud enough to alert the household. This early security system didn't trigger panic, it triggered exposure. And exposure is kryptonite to intruders. In rural cabins or even apartments today, the same old-school concept remains one of the simplest and most effective passive alarms. a metal cup filled with gravel behind a door, a small bell tied to a window latch, objects placed so any movement produces a sound you can't ignore. This is what modern security calls active deterrence through passive design, but its roots are pure World War II home survival. What made these defenses brilliant wasn't the materials, they were basic. It was adaptability. People used what they had: wire, light, sound, timing, pure psychology. And that's the lesson for preppers today. A layered defense works because no single point of failure kills the system. Even if a lock breaks or a camera dies, the noise trap still sounds, the lighting trigger still fires, the tripline still creates hesitation. Think like a wartime homeowner. Make your home the least attractive target. Reinforce doors not only with locks but with wedges. Strengthen windows. Add visible deterrence backed by real, simple systems hidden in the background. Mix in unpredictable triggers, light, sound, movement, and you create an environment intruders don't want to gamble with. The real power of these techniques isn't nostalgia. It's human psychology. These defenses exploit universal reactions: fear of being caught, fear of the unknown, fear of unpredictability. Technology changes, human instincts don't. And that's why this World War II trick still works in homes, cabins, and off-grid setups. It requires no electricity, no fancy gear, no constant monitoring. Just a simple, layered system that throws intruders off their rhythm and forces them to rethink their plans. When people talk about resilience, this is what they mean: creative solutions in hard times, systems built with nothing but necessity. If you found this fascinating and want more history-backed survival insight, hit that subscribe button and share this with someone who appreciates real tactics that still work. This is all about powerful knowledge that keeps you ready, aware, and ahead of the game. Thanks for watching.